What oil test kit do you recommend for Rotex engine?
For road tax?
Yep.
Which road?
Specifically the 915i,
The 915 line.
the eyes.
We've been getting more and more road tax engines over the years. Great engine, particularly for light spots, a great engine. Fortunately, with our test kit, it doesn't really matter what kind of engine it is. Now, we just do aviation, but we do Rotex, QnA, Lycoming, all of the reciprocating engines we do.
That means yes, it will be Rotex. Can you explain us what is the difference between a filter analysis and a chip analysis?
Sure, that's a good question. Filter analysis, you send the whole filter to us.
Okay.
Right? So the process that we go through is that we get the filter, we clean all the debris out. We have a pretty elaborate process for doing that. It's a pretty extensive, a lot of manual labor involved, but we get all the debris out of the filter that we can. Then we dry that debris in an oven to flash off all the solvent that we use to clean the filter. Now we're dealing with clean, dry debris. So now we can look at this clean, dry debris, we weigh it to see how much we have out of the filter, and then we kind of rummage through it like you might in the hangar, and we look for abnormal chips that we think are problematic, right? If we find some, then we'll take that specific chip and put it on an electron microscope to determine the alloy number, the size, the shape, all of those things. That's filter analysis. With chip analysis, one other thing about filter analysis. With filter analysis, we don't always do SCM because we don't always find debris that we think is a problem.
Right.
Most of the debris that we get out of the filter is going to be normal debris. It's going to be products of combustion like coke and carbon. It's going to be dirt. It might be a little bit of wear metals, but normal amounts of wear metals, right? If we find, though, an abnormal amount, we'll use the electron microscope. So if you got a normal filter reader from us, there won't be any SCM data in there. It'll just be the weights and then a description of the debris that we found.
How long does it take normally?
3 days. It's a pretty elaborate process. I mean, for us to clean the filter takes several hours, and then to dry it and weigh it and look through it takes some additional time. So we give that process about 3 days total before you get your results. But chip analysis is different. And chip analysis is if you find something in the hangar that you think is a problem, you can take it off, put it on a piece of tape, and send it to us. That's a chip that we get. And we won't do any cleaning. We won't do any of that other stuff that we do with the filter. We just put it immediately onto an electron microscope. We'd measure it so we know the size of it. We'd look at the shape of it and the description of the shapes. And then we determine the alloy composition and where that might have come from in your particular engine. Right?
What's the time frame for the SCM?
Well, the SCM is... To run an SCM only takes, let's say, 30 minutes. But to do the analytical part, that is take the data that we've gotten out of the SCM and move that over to alloy charts and then use metal maps to determine where it might come from in an engine. All of that process takes some time. And we have one person, our lab manager, that looks at all of our SCM and debris and goes through that process. So the turnaround time on an SCM is usually 2 to 3 days as well, although it's not as elaborate process as the filter analysis. So some people, we send them filters, or they don't want to do filter analysis because they have a reusable filter. Right. And even in those cases, the CIF form that we send with our filter analysis kit has the checkbox on it where you can check and we'll send the filter back to them, right? So
all you got to do is check.
All you have to do is check it. What a lot of our customers do is they'll have 2 of the filters and they'll put one in while they're sending us the other one. We'll send it back when it's about time for them to send the next one. So they've always got some. But because the turnaround time is fairly short, you could do that. You wouldn't have a filter for about a week, but you could still do that if you had a week to spare.